live tutorial and how's everything going? Okay, so it's nice to see you again. And then when we come back next week, I will carry on with the writing with you first, and then Mr. Lin and Mr. Austin will come to have the other session. So, right, so let's remember, try to remember what we had done last week. We had done something about sports, right? Sports, and yeah, remember? I told you that we were going to write a survey report last week, and then we had done something about it. That was a questionnaire. Remember? And the topics is this thing. So it's about sports and student sports behavior, student sports habits. So I hope that you have finished your questionnaire for me. Some of you haven't, and uploaded it to me already. And so this is it, the student sports habits survey. So that was what we have gone through last week, and now we come back to this and try to write the report with some of the data that we have. So how to write a survey report? We've got a survey already, and we have all the questionnaire done and students interviewed. So what are we going to do with this? To write a report about this, right? Now, so how to write a report? Actually, we will ask what should be in a survey report. Now I tell you that we have 5 things to go through here. And then very briefly, I'll tell you now. The title, of course, we have title for everything. Whatever we write, we need a title for that. An introduction. Introduction is nothing strange to you, nothing new to you. Whatever we write, at the very beginning, we are going to introduce, we are going to tell everyone what will happen and what will be in the essay or in the report here. So introduction, and also now we will give the results. This is a very important part, because in this part we're going to tell what we have collected, all the data, all the answers that we have collected from our students. So this is the result. We tell the result, and after the result we are going to find out something from the result, and that's the conclusion. We are going to give some conclusions to the results, and we will make recommendations. That is to make some suggestions. We spent so much time to have the interview. It must be something that's meaningful behind that we are doing with this. So we will come up with some suggestions or what we call recommendations after that. So this is it, and I will tell them, or I will tell you in detail what they are. Now, so first of all, the title. So can you tell me what's the title for the report? It's simple, right? Simple. What's the title? Again, we say it's a survey report, right? You tell everyone that it's a survey report on what? Of course, student sports habits. So at the very beginning, please tell me, right, that it's the survey report on student sports habits. That's the title. Great. And what's the next thing? Did you remember? Introduction. Right. So we're going to the introduction. And what are we putting in the introduction now? First of all, I want to remind you that the introduction must be something very short. Not everything, but you put everything in a few short sentences. That's the introduction. So you talk about the survey report in general. In general means to tell it to everybody that what's the general picture of the whole thing is. That is introduction. So what will we write in the survey report about students' habits? I will put it in 3 parts. and tell you. First of all, now, this is how you can start your survey report. Many of you always say, oh, I don't know how to start. This is the way to start, one of the very good way to start. For this student habits survey, now, I'll do it this way. Right. In order to means you tell the purpose why, that is the why you need to do a survey, right, about this subject. So I would say in order to find out. So this is a very useful line that you can use in your survey report. So in order to find out the attitude of students towards sports, that is the habits or how they look at sports, right? A survey on student sports habits was conducted, means carried out, right? Was conducted in, now this is another very important thing, January 2020. You tell everyone what was the time that you had the survey. Tell everyone that, oh, it was conducted in January. That is what you need to do. One thing, two things that you need to do here. So, and what's next? You should tell everyone how many students you have interviewed. If you have only interviewed 1 or 2 students, it's meaningless. Or if the size is 1,000, then it tells something. But for students, I guess 100 students were interviewed. So you tell the interview size. You talk about the interview size. Tell everyone how many people you have interviewed. This is what you need to do in the introduction. And then we come to you also say what's going on, right, about all the data. So conclusions will be drawn. You tell everyone that we have got some data from 100 students, and then we will draw some conclusions. We will take some conclusions out from those answers, and recommendations will be made after getting the result. So you will make some recommendations. You will give some suggestions. That's what's going on in the whole report. Are you okay with that? So that's the introduction. And then from the introduction, we go to the next part. This is the most important thing, I guess, in the result. Or when I'm telling you how to write a survey report, this is a very important part. Please, right, don't fall asleep, because I'm going to tell you how to interpret, how to present all those data that you have got from the survey, from the questionnaire. So the results means the data and all the answers you collected from the survey. So how are we going to talk about all those number of people? Now you can do it in a few ways. I'm going to show you one by one. Percentage. You can tell it by a percentage. How do you do it? So now here it is. Why don't you play more sport? Why don't you play more sport? So how do you tell it now? Look at this. This is a big part, right? 40%. 40% of the students not enough time. So this is one point that you can present. So you can say it this way. So 40% of the students said they did not have enough time to play sports. So this is bingo, one important findings from your survey. So you can say it in your result. And we have some other points, right? And what are we going to do? You can also tell by number of people. Like, do you think you are doing enough sports? Do you think you're doing enough sports? Right. So look at the number. Now, here, if you don't see it very clearly, I'll tell you no means no, not enough. How many students? 75 students. So you can say 75 students, don't do it. So by telling the number. So you can say 75 out of 100 students said they were not doing enough sports. So this is by telling the number of people, number of students that you can present one of your data to your readers of the report. So here's another way, and a third way to do it. Third way. You can also tell by proportion. Proportion proportion of the students said that they played sports outside the school. So a big, 90%, right? A large proportion or a big proportion said, right, outside the school. And other way, and we have still another way to talk about it. Look at this, now learn this word. The majority means most of them. The majority of the students said they played sports outside the school. So you can tell it this way. Also the majority or a large proportion of them. So this is the third way, but we still got another way after that. That is, you can tell by fractional number. Wow. To put it simple, it's like this, half or 1/2 or 1/3, etc. So fractional number can also show the data to you. So this is now another example. What sports do you like? Okay, when we look at these, swimming. So many of them like swimming. So 1/3 of the students like, very sensible. So 1/3 of the students like swimming, or in English, 1/3 of the students like swimming. So you can just use some numbers, Arabic numbers, or tell it in English. 1/3 of the students like swimming. So this is how you can present your data. Alright, so this is only part of the sentence. How to put the whole thing in a complete sentence. Look at what I will do, or tell me what you do. I want a whole sentence. Now, this is it. So, you can say according to. If you don't know according to, go look it up from your dictionary. So, according to, but this is very familiar already. You're already informed. So, according to the survey report, so 40% of the students said they did not have enough time to play sport. This is one way to present the whole line to everyone. And you can also do this way. According to the information collected. Information, I'm sure you know this word, information collected. So collected means to get. 40% of the students said they did not have enough time to play sports. So another way to show everyone in a report. Or so many other ways, like don't just do it one way or two way, keep changing, and make your reader feel that it's something new from time to time. So the result of the survey shows that 40% of the students do not have enough time for sports. Or the survey shows that 40% of the students do not have enough time for sports. So change a little bit, right? Okay. Or the survey reveals, try to use some words that's new. Reveals, shows, another word of saying shows that 40% of the students do not have enough time for sports. So this is it, right? So this is how you can present your data. And now, very quickly, we come to the conclusion. So what's the difference between, this is the part that is most confusing to many of the students who result in conclusion. So how to separate them, I tell you. Just now, we have a lot of numbers and data and figures, like the findings that you get from your questionnaire. And here is the conclusions. So it tells you something. The number tells you something. These are the some things that we need to tell in your conclusion. So the result of the survey reveals that you can use this kind of here. What's okay? Right. Reveals that most of the students do not have enough exercise. So it shows that, okay, most of them do not have enough. In general, so do not have enough exercises because they don't have enough time. So you don't tell any figure, you don't tell any number. You don't just put them in numbers, but you tell the facts, what's going on, what's the situation that the data has shown us. So, moreover, the sports facilities at school are not used by students. Remember that only 10% of the students have tried to use the facilities at school. So it shows that many students, they do not use the facilities at school. So this is one of the conclusions. So from the conclusions and the results, we go to recommendations, suggestions. So what should you do after looking at all those points? Oh, students don't have enough time. Oh, those students use the facilities of the school, so we must change. We must give something new to the situation. So this is the suggestion and recommendation. So from the results of the survey, now you can just tell this way, it is suggested, or it is recommended that the school should give more time for students. So no time, so what to do? Give them more time to exercise. There should be less homework. Wow, our students will like it a lot. Less homework and more activity groups like swimming club. Oh, 30% of students like swimming, so why not, right? Having a swimming club and volleyball club, right? These are just the examples. Also, the school should build new sports facilities to attract students. So build some new facilities. Maybe the facilities will solve all that students don't like to use them. So these are recommendations. So actually, we have come to all the parts, right, of the survey report. And some other very important points to tell you. Right? Very important points. Remember, a very a question that many students will ask when in writing. What tense to use when we're writing a survey report? I tell you, both past tense and present tense. When to use past, when to use present. Past tense now. When you're talking about the interview, remember that you have the interview before writing the report. So it's something in the past. Of course, you need to use past tense in this part. For example, the students said that they like, look at these, reported speech, right? Said that they like. So past tense. But when you are writing about the situation that is going on, writing about the report, most of the parts, you need to use present tense. So when talking about the other things, most of the other things, like this, the result shows that students like. So this is the situation that is going on now. Students like swimming. They liked swimming before, they like swimming now, and they will like it. So we use present tense. So are you okay with this? Present tense and past tense? One thing to remind you. And the other thing to remind you, or to ask you, what style should we use when we are writing a survey report? Style. Let me show you two words. Answer me. Formal or informal? Formal. Yes. You're not writing to a friend. You're not writing to your uncle. All right. You're not writing to your father. You don't say, "Hi everyone, how are you?" You don't say that. It's very formal. You have to use formal style. And also, look at this. I always show this to my students. But why am I doing this? Don't cut that. Then into different parts. I want to remind everyone that it is very, very important that you cut your whole essay, your report into different parts so that you have a very good organization. So good paragraphy is very important for writing a survey report. Now, so far so good. Right? So what's next? Of course, I want you to write the survey report. This is your homework, your assignment for the week, and I have uploaded the question, the paper for you onto the Google Classroom already. So go and have a look at it and try to write me the survey report, and you will find some of that very useful information in the worksheet. And one thing that I need to remind you, where are the data? It doesn't really matter. We don't have a data that is for everyone. You just create your own data. You can write you just figure it out by yourself, like you can say 95% of the students like playing volleyball. Okay. Or many of the students say they had a lot of exercises already at school, too much. So you can create your own data. It doesn't really matter. Right? As long as you can finish your work, that will do, and that will be okay. So, do you know what to do? If you have any question, email us. We will answer your question. Okay, so thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon. I hope your week is going well.
Yes. And last time we haven't finished the last part, so
No, we didn't.
yeah, for today's lesson we'll start the question and answer part. Here's the outline for today's lesson, and first part we do the speaking question about Olympics and sports, and then the second part we will talk about esports, a new topic.
Right.
All right, now, so Richard, can you name some Olympic sports?
Yes, I can. I can name running, which is athletics, or marathon running. How about baseball? Is a popular one. You know I like baseball. So, what about you?
I think it's basketball, football, and the most boring I think is the marathon.
Yeah, marathon. Watching people run long distances.
Yeah,
Not
sometimes
too
for
exciting.
2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
Okay, and second one, which are the most dangerous sports at the Olympic?
Well, I think that would be boxing. You know, that would hurt, and wrestling. Wrestling. You could break a bone wrestling, I think.
Yeah.
Any other ones? I don't know if there's too many other dangerous sports.
I don't think so. I also got the same answer with you.
Oh.
Boxing is dangerous.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got hurt and some may be killed, though it is a rare case.
It is.
Yeah.
Gymnastics, that's dangerous. You know,
The spin.
the people that spin high up and they can land. I know people have gotten hurt from that.
Yeah. And so, which country was the first Olympics in? Any clue?
I know the answer. The answer is Rome.
No, I don't think so.
It's not Rome?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's another country. Rome is a city of Italy and France.
Oh, I made a mistake. I know where it is. It's in Greece.
Yes,
That's
it's
right.
Greece. And which city? I forgot.
Oh, Athens.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the
Very
first
good.
Olympics. Okay, thanks.
I knew this answer last week, everybody. And then 1 week later, I forgot.
Yeah. And so the boring sport, as I mentioned earlier, I think marathon is the most boring sport. Sorry, that.
If you like running, it's really exciting, right?
Yeah.
Some sports are good to watch and some sports are good to participate.
Yeah, so our next question is the most exciting sport.
Well, for me, that's baseball, but I like baseball. Many people think baseball is very boring, though. So
For me, I think football.
football is
Yes.
the best sport.
Yeah.
Which
the most
football? Soccer football? Or
Soccer football.
football.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you know that even your name have a wicked team, and sometimes you can win the strongest team. Yeah, it's
Team sports.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
very
we prefer team sports. So the running that I like is the baton.
Mm-hmm.
When they pass the baton in teams. That running is actually I think that's quite entertaining.
Okay, and next one, which is better, individual or team sport?
I already answered. I prefer the team sport.
Me too, because there need lots of cooperation and team spirit is also important.
I agree.
And if you were in the Olympics, which sport would you do? Baseball?
Well, I would be baseball again. But I should pick a different answer. And always having baseball is my favorite. If I was in the Olympics, which sport?
How about swimming?
No, look at me. I'm too fat. I don't want people to see me swimming. No. What about you? Do you have?
Maybe basketball, because I can only play basketball.
You're not tall enough.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah.
But we'd still like to. Yes.
And how would you feel if you won a golden medal? Wow.
Well, you get a lot of money if you win the gold medal, so I'd be very happy to win the gold medal.
Yes, and I will feel that I will proud of myself and
Yes.
also my country as well. Yeah. And which is more important, winning or competing? Winning.
Is it winning or competing?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, the proper answer is to say competing, but you know you want to win. So
Yes, especially when you go to that professional level, you just want to win.
When you're at this level of athlete, you really want to win. Plus, you're winning for your country, right?
Yeah.
So there's some pride you get if you win. Like I know the Canadian hockey team, when they go to the Olympics, they are not happy if they win a silver medal or a bronze medal. If they have to win gold, so there's a lot of pressure on Canada's hockey team to always win the gold medal, gold medal. So for them, it's gold or nothing. But in other sports, you'd be happy to have a bronze medal.
Okay. And then, do you think athletes have too much pressure? Yes.
I don't think so. Do you think so?
Yeah, because they need to keep training every day, and they seldom have their holiday. Even like Christmas, they need to keep training every day.
I agree, but I think it's a pressure you choose.
Yes.
You want this pressure. So if you have a goal, you want to achieve that goal, and you are willing to give up Christmas and Chinese New Year to practice this. So it's a lot of pressure, but it's pressure they want. I think nobody forces you to do this, do they?
Yes. As far as you like the sports, and I think that they will enjoy the sports as well. Okay. Now, and so this is the part that we haven't done last week, and now the new topic that we're going to talk today is esports.
Esports. This is new to me. I like this one.
Esports and sport too. First of all, we need to define what esport is. Definition, and then is esports a real sport? And then the last one, advantages and disadvantages of esports. Okay, and we try to use another maybe 15 to 20 minutes to go through this.
Right.
Okay, so have you ever played this game, League of Legends?
I have not played that.
League of Legends, because I know that many of our students they play this game.
Well, I'm really impressed. If you could see the picture, you see all these people watching the teams playing. So that's really interesting.
And
I've heard of Fortnite. I've heard of this game's very popular in America.
Oh, I haven't heard this. In fact, I heard a lot of this students talking about this LL. They just use the short form LL. Okay.
Say League of Legends. Work on your English. Don't say LL.
And there are some pros. Esports, multiplayer video games played competitively for spectators, typically by professional gamers.
Yes. Hey, look at, there's even girls watching.
Yeah, and they are the spectators.
Wow, they're really into it. They really.
Yeah, everyone is looking up at the screen, I guess.
Wow. Okay. This is for young people, not us old teachers.
Yeah, you can see from the face.
You can see nobody over 25. I think.
Yeah. And also there are some terms like tournaments, online professional sports.
Yeah, you notice when they do these kind of pictures with all the words, the biggest words they choose, like tournaments, professional, sport, those are the words I think they want you to learn the most. When you get down to the small words, they figure you already know the word, or they're not that important of the word.
Can you see the picture? Actually, I don't know.
Some of them I can't see, yes.
Yeah, this is a kind of games, one of the characters.
Well, this is Pac-Man.
Yeah?
You guys know Pac-Man, right? Pac-Man. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm old. I know Pac-Man. I played Pac-Man when I was 5 years old.
Okay. And now, this difficult word taxonomy, actually, it means the different kinds of esports. You can see from the shooter, strategy, sports, RPG, and fighting games.
Yes, so I like the RPG games, the story-based games. These are very good if you want to learn English to play RPG games, assuming you play the English version, don't play the Chinese version. So for English learning, this is a really good one.
I played the FIFA and also
The sports
games. Yes,
and of course, I play the hockey and the baseball games.
I played the football and basketball.
Basketball, yeah.
Okay, now you can see, wow, the prize pool for esports.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in this for those students who really love their video games. Playing these professionally, you can make a lot of money doing it. I remember when I lived in South Korea, that some of the students were playing StarCraft. Some of you may know this game. And they would go into competition, and they could make $40,000 US playing this game. And that was, now you got to remember, that was 2006. So they might make a lot more money now playing these games.
Yeah,
Fortnite, wow, look at that.
This is in US dollar in 2019. Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And here's the audience, means the spectators for the esports. You can see the number is going up. And in 2020, you can see 580 million people watching.
Wow.
Okay, they're watching the esports. Yeah, so you can make a lot of money.
Yes. It's no wonder students aren't learning English because they're watching these games.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, so actually, I tried to find the definition from the dictionary, and here's the source. And what is esports? Okay.
The activity of playing computer games against other people on the internet, often for money, and often watched by other people using the internet, sometimes at special organized events.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's pretty much what you can tell all of that by just looking at the picture. The people are playing the game, other people come and watch them playing the game. I don't understand why that's popular. I mean, I like playing games, but to watch somebody playing a game would bore me. But that's just me.
Maybe someday we need to ask our students, because they want to watch the YouTube from the to watch the YouTube. Some of them just upload their games.
Their games that they've already played to show their friends. I've seen that on the PlayStation. You can take a video clip and then send it.
Yeah.
And then other people can tell you if you play well.
Okay.
Maybe we should go one day to one of these. I shouldn't say I don't like it if I've never tried it.
Yes. Okay, so is esports a real sport?
I say yes, it is a real sport.
I say no.
And Ms. Lin says no, and we will tell you why we disagree.
Because you see that the definition, playing computer games. Okay, how can it be related to sports? And so the answer is no for me, because sports should be an activity that you do for pleasure and that need physical effort, or skills. And usually then in a special area and according to fixed rules. Okay? And so when you're playing the video games, no physical effort or skill you need. Okay?
I think there is. I'll tell you why later.
And also.
And what about this? They do it for pleasure.
Yeah, just part of it, but they don't need any physical
effort. It's physical.
Okay. Also from ESPN president, is that it's not a sport, it's just a kind of competition.
I disagree.
Okay, so your stand is that it is a sport.
I think it's a sport. And I'll tell you why. It's a different kind of sport.
Okay.
Alright, so I say yes because,
Oh, sorry.
Sports athletes work out almost every day. They eat healthy and constantly study gameplay. Okay? Esports athletes work out. It sort of says the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
As they have luxury of accessibility in video games. Is there another? Okay, so they follow seasons and they play in competitions just like any other sport. All right. And they endure roster changes, so if they're playing with people that are on their team, they have to. If somebody leaves, they've got to bring in a new player. There's contract disputes and money issues, just like in real sports or in physical sports. I shouldn't say real sports because I think esports is a real sport.
Okay. And here is a video talking about a Japanese guy. Trying action per minute, talking about his finger. How many times can you?
So some of these players, they can do 300 actions per minute. So they can move with lightning fast reflexes. So I believe there's a certain skill involved playing video games that not anybody can do. Or I like to play video games, but I cannot play to this level, and I probably never could. Many of you are still young. You could probably, if you worked hard, could probably do this.
Maybe we can have a look on this.
Sure.
Okay. Just a short video, please.
I have other reasons for why I think this is a sport. Oh, Super Mario. This is funny. I played this game when it first came out. This is how old Mr. Austin is. And it's very popular. Still today, it's very popular. There's a movie, while Mr. Lin is loading, there's a movie called The King of Kong. And it's a movie about professional Donkey Kong players. Donkey Kong is a very old game. Donkey Kong is considered the most difficult video game ever made. And the players who are very good at it, they're very good at mathematics. I highly recommend that movie to you if you you like video games and you want to see two of the world's best players playing against each other.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh, it's a keyboard and mouse. I already know I'm not good at keyboard and mouse. I need the joystick.
Hey, you do that, Miss Awesome?
No. No. The problem I have with these games is I can't control the keyboard and the mouse at the same time to work that fast. I can do the joystick, but I can't do this. I tried, I'm no good.
But you need to press it more than 300 times per minute if you want to be professional.
Yes. And the thing is, they have to do it for a long period of time. It takes a lot of stamina. If you're playing these games for 10 hours, and you're not, and your hands get sore. I don't know. I think it's a sport.
Okay.
Physically demanding.
Okay. And now here's the last part for today's and advantages and disadvantages of esports. And you say that it is sport. So what are the advantages?
Are we doing advantages first? What's our first one? Let me see. I got a reminder here. Okay, like regular sport. Okay, esports is competitive and requires teamwork. So because you can play in teams. So that's very similar to a normal regular sport like football. You have to be on a team. Secondly, okay, you can make money. Now, making money, we make money doing all sorts of things, but like a real physical sports player, you can earn a living. You can make money and live your life playing. What else? Esports is a combination of mind sports. This is what I wanted to mention, like chess. Okay, you know chess. Do you know chess? Do they know chess?
Yeah.
Chess is considered a sport. It's not a physical sport. You just sit there and you move your piece. But it's a sport of your mind, of concentration.
There's a picture of chess. Yeah.
There's chess, okay? So chess is a real sport. They have cameras. You make a lot of money if you're really good at playing chess. There are chess grandmasters who are the best in the world. They even play against computers.
Yeah.
And the human beats the computer, then you're doing something special, right? And then other sports like, this might be hard to see down there, Texas Hold'em Poker. So Texas Hold'em Poker is a card game where you're competing against up to 9 players, but it could be 300 players, all at tables in a room, and the best player wins the championship. They can win $5-6 million US if they win the poker tournament. So as you can see, lots of people playing and also lots of people at home watching, and it's even on TV in America. So people tune in and watch this. Every Friday night you can watch 3 hours of poker on
But
TV.
you know that it's just like a kind of gambling.
It is gambling, it is gambling, but it's also like chess, a lot of strategy and some risk involved. But yes, it is. It's also gambling, so it's sport gambling.
Okay.
And the last one that I threw in here just as an aside, I found some research that says playing video games, specifically single-player video games, not multiplayer video games, has a positive effect on students' schoolwork. So students who play video games, their math scores, their language scores actually get better. So if your mom says, don't play video games, it's bad for you, you can play video games if it's a single-player role-playing game, because there's lots of puzzles to solve and a lot of challenges to get through to get to the next level. So it improves your thinking and the speed of your thinking. All right? There's a link here to that article.
All right, now, so you mentioned about the advantages, and I'm going to talk about the disadvantages.
Yes, there are disadvantages.
Okay, and the first one, health risk.
Yes.
The reason, you say that 40 hours per day training?
14 hours.
14, yeah.
14 hours.
You just sit in front of the computers and, too much sitting.
And same with the other sports like chess, a lot of sitting. Poker.
Yeah.
You can sit there for 12 hours playing poker. It's not good for your health.
And also injuries, because of the repetitive sprain injuries. You can see the wrist.
Yes, you'll end up wearing a bandage on your wrist. list.
Yeah, and also there is called the less long because of sitting posture and active lifestyle.
Yeah, you should get up every 20 minutes, walk around.
But how can you do
Drink
that
some
if you
water.
are doing the...
You can't. You got to put it on pause. But
Yeah.
everybody has to agree to that.
Yeah, they will keep playing the games and you say that I'm going to live for a while. No way.
You
and
can't.
you can't win the
No.
competition, the games. And also some mental health problems. People got anxiety and depression when they play for a long time.
Yeah.
And this definitely
It's also bad for your eyes
yeah.
if it's not on there.
And gaming disorder, you got addiction
Yes.
because you want to win, and then you lose, and you invest more time and money on that,
Yes.
game and that, again.
If you're addicted to running, that's a good addiction, right? Not going to kill you probably. You're going to be healthier. But if you're addicted to this, it could kill you. Lots of people die from playing this
Yeah,
because they can't stop.
and there are some stories in Hong Kong as well. Some students they just play for maybe 24 hours or 48 hours, and then they got collapsed.
Probably, yeah. It's like,
And performance enhancing drugs, because you want to win, then you take drugs. Okay.
yeah. This is true though of every sport. So even professional athletes will take drugs to enhance their physical.
Yeah.
This is to enhance their mental
Yeah.
ability. Either one is not good.
Another 5.
Oh, you've got many.
Yeah, match fixing. Okay, because of the gambling
Yes.
all the time. You try to-
Yeah, they can fix it. I mean, this is true of boxing as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you hit the guy and he just falls down because they're paying him money to fall
Yeah.
down so that the gamblers can win lots of money. So this is a
Even-
problem in other
Yeah, even
sports.
the boss lost in the game, he
Exactly.
still got a lot of money, and because of these corruptions,
Yeah.
okay, because there is no real organization that governs
Esports. Oh, I didn't know that. That is a
Yeah.
disadvantage.
And so another problem is gambling, okay,
Yeah.
and no player unions.
Union, yeah, you need a
So no one can
union.
guarantee
No one
that
can protect you.
Yeah, and this may be the problem of esports. And then the last one, cheating, of course.
Yeah.
Because you
It's a
want,
computer. You can break into computers, as you know, and you can. I don't know what you can do, but I'm sure there's ways
to
to
use like
hack.
person-
That's the word, hack. H-A-C-K. Hack into the system and do something to mess up the other teams, something
Yeah.
like that. So I'm sure there's lots of cheating.
So here is the advantages and disadvantages of esports. And now, so this is the lesson that we would like to give you today. And again,
Oh no,
you don't like it, but
not my
yeah,
responsibility. I didn't do this.
Okay.
All right.
This one, we can see winners takes all, and turn to the page is only 2 pages. 92, esports sports 2. This page, there's a text that you can read, and then the last one is very easy question. There are 8 questions for you to finish it, and I'm afraid that I can't let you have a look on this because I got the answer printed on this textbook. Okay, so I have already uploaded this homework to the Google Classroom. Please go home and finish it, and bear in mind submit this by 17th of December. No, not 17th, 24th.
All right.
Yeah, of March. Okay.
All right.
That's all.
I'd also like to thank the students who are submitting your audio recordings. I fall a little bit behind on the marking. I'll mark them this week for the ones that you've submitted. All right. And most of you are doing a good job. Just try to make sure you're listening to the text before you start speaking. Okay. Some of those bigger words are giving some of you some problems. All right. That's it for Mr. Austin.
Okay, and also for Mr. Lee, that's all, and see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.